What is up, fishing addict? So today's video we'll be talking about the best top waters to choose for rivers, smallmouth, and how and why I choose them on the order. Well, not in order, but I will explain you guys why I choose them for that river and why that lure works for me the best on that river. So I'm gonna start with the most um, the top water that I like the most, and I enjoy using it a lot. Any freaking catches fish like no one's business. So that will be the popper. Uh, I love the popper, especially the evergreen DB68. I believe 68 stand because it's the size. This is a perfectly uh, balanced bait. I do love using it, and it's very easy to cast, and I can cast it a mile, and it works phenomenal. Um, Cast it, you can walk it. It's very easy to walk this bait. This is amazing how easy it is to walk this bait. I do have other big brand uh, bait that I do not like that much. It's from Mega Bass, and it's sluggish. It sucks. Best one that I like so far from the poppers will be the evergreen, and the close second is the Yuzuri popper. I do not have it with me, but I do enjoy their poppers. They are phenomenal fish catchers, especially if you're fishing a river that has a lot of shad and there is a shad spawn going, shatter on the bank on the rocks or whatever, or you see them popping the shad. This lure will work absolutely phenomenal on any big river, small river, or anything above, as long as there is no grass floating on the river. That brings me to one of the local rivers, well, two of the rivers that actually have a lot of good grass that are floating, and it is annoying to fish them, but they do have big bass, or one of them has big bass, the other one has a lot of bass. But in those cases, the popper and a treble hook bait will not work, and that's where um, buzzbait comes in. Buzzbait for smallmouth, they love it. Absolutely amazing lure that I like to fish. It is one of my uh, top water lures that I like to use and utilize. It does call up the fish from deep from water, and also creates a nice little commotion on top as shatter busting or whatever. It just calls out fish, and it works phenomenal. And best part is you can use it on grassy areas, around timber. It does come through the um, logs pretty well. Um, you can fish it a variety of ways. I love it. I love using buzz bait, and I also, just like a spinner bait, uh, the light over here is crazy. Just like a spinner bait, I do have a trailer hook on it, and if you guys can see, I always like to use my spinner baits, buzz baits, and that's pretty much it. I like to use hook on the back instead of trailer. It does. I do believe I get more. I get to keep more fish with it, and sometimes they get hooked onto the trailer hook instead of the other one. So buzzbait is my one of my top favorite lures. So, and then and comes to the rivers that I like to fish the most around here, and especially when they're in an urban area where they have a lot of mice. When that's the case, you cannot go wrong with the rat. The rat is an absolute killer when it comes to those small creeks, smaller rivers where they have around the cornfields, farms and stuff. The mouse outperforms anything else. Couple of years back, I was fishing a local river, DuPage, and it was very early in the morning. I was waiting, walking slowly, and I noticed a mice were crossing the river, or jumping on the river, going through there was like big bulges of grass or whatever, going through the big bulges of grass, and I was just sitting there chilling, sipping on my soda, and as I'm watching it, and I was very entertained, and suddenly one of the mouse disappears. I'm like, oh, I don't think this water wave has pipes. So I thought it was a pipe first. And those were good sized mice. I mean, they were not rats, big rats, but they were pretty good sized mice. As I'm standing there and looking through the river, and then once in a while there's mice crossing left and right, and I'm like, okay, I'm like, it is what it is, you know. I spent a couple of minutes there, nothing else happened. As I'm walking upstream, and I see um, couple of mice back to back, they're just crossing, and all I see is like all three of them disappeared. I'm like, holy crap! So I was using a whopper popper at the time. I put on a whopper popper, and I'm casting where it was, and I'm retrieving slowly and sucks it in. Set the hook, huge, huge smallmouth, and I pull it in, net it, pop the hooks, and I'm looking at its mouth, and I see the tail of the mice, and I'm like, wow. So I through the day, and I'm fishing, catching fish, and I could not let it go that the fish had mice tail on its throat. So I went, I looked for the I looked for the mouse in the local stores. I couldn't find it. I found it online. I ordered two of them, and I went out a week or two later after work, and I was smashing them. I mean, these things were destroying it. I had a friend of mine using a whopper popper, and I had another guy using a frog. I was out fishing them 10 to 1. I mean, like they were casting on the same places, and I'll go behind them and I'll cast and I'll smash them. So if you have a creek or a river that's near cornfields or whatever, sharp hooks, I would strongly recommend the mice. You cannot go wrong with La Rata. And the other bait that I like to utilize that I came across a year or two ago is for smallmouth on the rivers. You cannot go wrong with I believe this was called the Hellraiser from Z-Man. It does look like a angler catcher than a fish catcher, but it's a top water chatterbait. I mean, literally top water chatterbait. This thing calls out fish from left and right. It does catch pretty good. It works amazing on current, no current. The only time it fails, just like the rat and popper, is when there's grass floating. However, it still works as good as any other bait, but uh, the action of it's unique, and it does catch fish. I left sometimes you do miss some fish, but um, for smallmouth, not a lot of fish have seen this, and it brings out the most aggressive fish to bite it. I would strongly recommend this. Uh, Using it, it does work amazing. It does work pretty well in Fox River and whatever, all the rivers around it, except DuPage, not that so much because of the floating grass, and the Plains River because of the floating grass, but still does perform pretty well when there's not too much grass floating on top. So for my recommendations, DuPage River, buzzbait, you cannot go wrong with it. Most definitely the rat as number one in DuPage. Even though with the floating grass it does get tangled up a bit, but still performs very well. So Fox River, can't go wrong with the popper. I swear to God, this popper is a killer in any of the rivers. Even DuPage, when there is no grass. When there is grass, he gets tangled up a lot. But if there's no grass, Fox River, Illinois River, this Plains River, all of them are this particular bait. It's amazing. especially on white bass and smallmouth. It is a killer. And of course, we have the Hellraiser. It is a phenomenal bait. I'll strongly recommend. These are my four. These are my four baits that I like using for top water, and most used will be, of course, the popper and the popper, the buzz bait, and the rat. I love using all of them, and that's it, guys. Let me know down below in the comments what is your favorite top water and why. So that's it, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next.